This is the Uncensored Library, released on March 12, 2020 on the World Day Against Cyber Censorship. Anyone in any country can access information considered illegal by many governments around the world. And why is it illegal? Well, all the information is free from internet censorship with a clever loophole. It's all in Minecraft. You will definitely be surprised by what you find on this server and in this video, and I don't typically make videos on topics like these, but the goal in every video of mine is to inform you of things that I believe you'll want and deserve to know. The Uncensored Library purely existing in its state is a considerable risk to many who dare log onto the server, but first, let's understand why. Internet censorship is legal control or suppression of what can be accessed, published, or viewed over the internet. Websites can be blocked in a whole myriad of ways, mainly through content filters and blacklists. A connection can be blocked to a website if the URL has keywords contained in a blacklist. Common targets of internet censorships are sites criticizing the government or an authority in a given country, especially those with corrupt leaders, sites that comment on minorities or LGBTQ+ issues, and much, much more. Internet censorship is a huge problem in modern day society because it allows corrupt leaders to get away with horrible acts and not have to face the consequences. And that's just the beginning. People could say that fighting some of the most powerful individuals in the world would be near impossible, but those people are totally wrong. Now, why is the Uncensored Library in Minecraft? Why didn't they do it in, I don't know, Gary's Mod or any other open world game? Well, there are a few really important reasons why they would do it in Minecraft. For starters, Minecraft is one of the top-selling games around the world. There are unlimited possibilities in what you can build, and you can connect to unrestricted servers outside the internet. So the creators of the library decided to use Minecraft's wide, international reach and unrestricted nature to make something extreme, nothing that no one's ever done before, and with an item you probably would never think about, but in this scenario, it is the most important tool the Uncensored Library could ever use. That item is the book. Now let's talk about how the Uncensored Library made a world free from internet censorship in the most unthinkable and daring way yet. So the story of this project starts with two companies, Reporters Without Borders, which I'll talk about later, and Blockworks. Blockworks is a company with a ton of talented builders and artists that strive to create amazing builds in Minecraft, typically with a set theme. Reporters Without Borders reached out to Blockworks to build the Uncensored Library and create the intricate, beautiful structure it is today. Blockworks' managing director, James Delaney, had something very special in mind for the build. As quoted from the Uncensored Library's video, he wanted the library to be designed by a near-classical architectural style that's often used to represent culture and knowledge. They used this style to convey the freedom of knowledge and the power that the truth has over oppressive government authorities. I'm going to explore the library in its entirety later in the video, so make sure to stick around for that and more. Trust me, it is absolutely insane. You definitely won't want to miss it. Alongside general news censorship around the world, it also has a special newly added part of the library that focuses on censorship around the recent virus outbreak. While there are not many submissions in this room yet, there's information on a couple of countries, and the trend that they seem to follow is that they're either spreading misinformation or suppressing current information. There seem to be some open spots left here, so hopefully more countries will be added. I mean, not entirely sure if it would really be a good thing or a bad thing for this room to get bigger, but that's up to you to decide the ethics. So let's talk about the company that dared start this project through all the chaos that's been happening around the world, and that is Reporters Without Borders. Reporters Without Borders, or RSF, is an international non-profit organization governed by principles of democratic governance. RSF was founded in 1985 in Montpellier, France by 4 French journalists. If you couldn't already tell, their goal is to defend the right of every human in being able to have access to free and reliable information. Now, there's a ton of information on Reporters Without Borders, as well as information on the journalists behind this project, so if you'd like to learn more after you watch this video, all of the important links will be in the description if you want to check it out. Alright, now is what you've all been waiting for. I'm going to be finally touring the library and showing you some of what it's about. So enough said, let's go. So this is the outside of the building. It's surrounded by this really cool garden out here, and I just displayed the Uncensored Library very prominently, and I think it looks awesome. I'm super excited to explore this, so you know what? Enough said, let's go. Whoa, this place is huge! Oh my god! So in this dome right here, this is all the the flags of all the different countries that are recorded, and I believe it starts from down there, not exactly there, but down there, and then as it goes all the way up, the countries with the most press freedom would be down here, and then as it goes up, it gets like worse and worse. Just look at how much detail is on all of this. It's insane. So one thing I really want to point out is this globe. I believe they have a chart of this online. It is a map of different countries and how much press freedom they have. So the white right here, I believe that's Greenland, that has the most press freedom, and then the black is where it's really bad. And then if we go all the way down here, all right, so down here, this book, this is the press freedom index. So this book has, the top one has the most press freedom. Number one, which is Norway, has the most press freedom. They're all ranked individually for how much press freedom they have. So an interesting thing about this is if you click on the here, let me look for United States right here. So if you click on it, it teleports you to the flag is right here. On top of it is something quite interesting. So there's a book, and if you read it, it describes the problems of journalism in the country, and it's a pretty interesting read. Okay, so another thing that's interesting is you can see there's little hallways down here. The chunks aren't rendered just because of the server. So let's go down one of these halls. The countries that have the worst press freedom have their own hallway. So I believe that's Egypt, and this one's Mexico. So let's look at Mexico. So Mexico is actually quite interesting. Mexico has a bunch of different stories of 12 journalists who were killed in the active pursuit of press freedom. So another thing I wanted to present. All right, so if we go down this hallway, we'll go down to Russia. Russia has something really cool. A lot of these buildings have their own unique builds. Like, look at this. Like, this is absolutely insane. Another thing that's really important in the middle here is that one of the Russian reporters that works on this project had. So you could see there's articles here in English, and then there's also articles here in Russian. So not only is anyone able to read these articles, it can be truly accessed around the world, and that is just incredible. All right, so this last room is where it gets really interesting. So if we go into this little corridor here, you can see there's a bunch of blocks here, and these blocks, you know, they look random and sporadic, but these blocks, all these blocks here spell out something very interesting. And if we go all the way up here, and then we look right here, it spells out truth. It's so cool. This is the first time I'm seeing it, and it is insane. Yeah, but I just wanted to show this off because I think it is absolutely insane. One of the best parts of this build. All right. So that was the Uncensored Library, although there are some possible problems with this whole thing, and I'll explain what they are. There are regular issues that apply to this server, as do with many Minecraft servers. It could be a target of major DDoS attacks which forcibly shut down the server IP and domain could be blocked by countries, or even worse, Minecraft could be banned entirely from countries. There's a whole list of attacks the server could face that would send the entire server into a downward spiral, but that seems very unlikely at the moment because the server has been up for like 2 years. And from what I know, it hasn't faced any challenges like I mentioned, and I'm hoping that it never will. As I said, I never make videos on topics as politic driven as these are, but internet censorship applies to us all. Heck, I'm risking a huge thing here because this video could be blocked in a lot of countries. But generally, the freedom of information is a heavily debated topic because there are two sides to it. Freedom of information could allow people to expose the truth about a lot of oppressive leaders, or it could be used to spread hate amongst minorities. This is gonna sound extremely controversial, but freedom of information is really a double-edged sword. It could be used for good as well as for bad. However, we as a society should use our human rights to freedom of speech to spread the word about these oppressive leaders and aid those who are trying to expose them. Now that you know almost everything about this project, I highly encourage you log onto the server. I implore you, take a look around, read up about the country you live in, learn the truth, and tell as many people as you can about this server. You have the right as a human being to speak your mind without suppression from anyone, so go ahead and do it.